Hey guys, so I am on my second day of eating something after my tiny little fast that I did, and I'm speaking about fasting from a health perspective, which I don't normally do. I normally speak about it from the spiritual perspective because it is through fasting and it is due to a fast that I am in Tanzania and I've built this children's village. But the health reasons are equally as important, and I see many people asking me questions about water fasting, and I have studied a great deal. I have a lot of experience in water fasting. I've had many prolonged fasts to overcome toxicity in my body from the use of recreational drugs, being a smoker in the past, having an unhealthy diet, and I thought I'd try and make a video to tell you everything in brief you need to know about water fasting, because as I look around on YouTube, and this is obviously a source of a place for information where people will hear my voice, so if you're looking for water fasting on there, there is some terrible advice and there are some terrible ways to water fast on there, and there are people who clean their body and then break the fast with toxic foods, and it's just very dangerous and completely unhealthy to do so. So breaking the fast, a long fast especially, is actually more difficult and more important than the fast itself. If you refeed incorrectly, you can get very sick. If you refeed incorrectly, you could even die. This is actually a genuine fact of how it can be. So let's start at the beginning of water fasting, and I'll try and talk you through everything as much as I can from the knowledge inside me about water fasting and what to expect when you embark upon one. Aside from expecting the healing that you're looking for within the fasting, be it psychological or physical or emotional or spiritual, there is a physical journey that you go on, and that's what I want to speak about from a more medical, scientific standpoint. So when you start your fast, the first 2 days tend to be the roughest, as in thinking about food, hunger, because you're going against a natural rhythm. But it's also the time when your body is still running on glucose. And even though you're not taking any carbohydrate or glucose into your system, your liver can produce glucose. This is why the most efficient diet to eat is not a high-fat diet, because that taxes your body energetically, and your body then needs to turn that fat into glucose, which will be usable for yourself. Of course, we have another fuel source, which is ketones. On the third day, it depends between male and female actually, but on the third day, we'll say for both, it's normally sooner for females, but on the third day you'll enter into ketosis, where your body will start to burn fat for a fuel source instead of using glucose for your brain. When that switchover happens, you feel quite rough and ropey. Now, as I mentioned, some people like to try and do ketogenic diets and so on and so forth, but this is the highest form of ketosis, and it's the healthiest, the only healthy form of ketogenic living is at that point where you're in a complete fast with 0 calories. You can, if you're eating a ketogenic diet, lose weight, but it's not a healthy and long-term thing to do, because your body will slam the carbohydrates when you're done, because it's looking for easy fuel, because it looks for the path of least resistance, and you'll probably gain the weight back anyway. Plus, you'll have spent a lot of time feeding too much fat into a body that can then clog arteries, etc. Low-fat diets unclog arteries, the scientific fact. So once you enter into ketosis, the third day you'll feel rough. When you get into full ketosis, you'll start to detox, and you might start feeling aches and pains, old wounds in your body. Maybe you've had a shoulder injury, it'll start to throb into ache as your body goes into a deeper layer of cleansing and healing on that area. Maybe you've had a bad tooth in the past, you'll feel a little bit of pain, but it's not a bad thing, it's doing the work it needs to do to fully heal that area of your body. Your tongue will become white. This is a sign of detox. It's toxins coming out of the biggest detox organ of your body is your skin, but your tongue will show the toxins coming out as well. As you go deeper into the fast, these things will happen more regularly, and you'll have up cycles and down cycles. So you'll have days where you feel great, completely clear, and your body slowly dumps toxins into your bloodstream and out of your skin. It's recommended that you can brush your skin to speed up the exfoliation of toxins from your body. And whilst you're going through this detox process, your body will give you a break sometimes so as to not leave you in toxemia. So some days you'll feel very wonderful and really very energetic as well, considering you're not eating any calories. Now, as the toxemia comes back and your body moves into the next stages of healing, which are healing crises, it'll start to clean itself again and you might feel groggy. And the only way to do a true water fast is to lay still. If you're going to move around and do it, you'll lose weight, but you won't heal your body. You'll stress your body. You need to be laid in your bed and still and meditating and letting your body do this process. If you move around and run around all over the place, it won't go into that healing stage and detox stage as it needs to, and it'll actually just stress your body. Post-fast, you'll feel it in your body. I've done this myself by accident. So once you are passing through these up cycles and down cycles, you should never interrupt a down cycle. Now imagine a down cycle is where you feel like rubbish. This is when you feel bad. As your body feels bad, it's purging toxins from your body. Many people will feel bad, so they go and break their fast. It's the worst thing you can do. If you feel bad, you should wait for your next up cycle. As you start to feel good again, even if you said you're going to fast 5 days, you get to the 5th day, you feel terrible, sleep and wait and see if you're feeling good on the 6th day. Because when you break the fast on an up cycle, you'll feel good while you refeed coming out of the fast. If you break it on a down cycle, you'll feel terrible as you go further into detox, but more slowly, because you've taxed your digestive system with food and your body is mid-detoxification, so it just prolongs those detox symptoms. So better to go as fast as you can. When you feel down, you feel rough, you're purging toxins, never eat. Wait for yourself to feel good. When you feel good and alert, then you can eat. As you progress through your fast, I've been on long fasts, 40 days and 40 nights in my past. As you get through your fast, you'll get, of course, hunger cravings. Your body, naturally, but not throughout the later stages, you won't be interested in food, strangely enough. You just won't. You'll get the odd idea. But what your body will do, and it's a strange thing for myself, I've just fasted 5 days, and I haven't eaten animal products for, 6 years now altogether, nothing from an animal. And I haven't eaten meat for even longer than that. 6 years I've been vegan. I didn't realise. When you've gone into your water fast, of course you're calorically deficit, and your brain has a survival want, and it starts saying, okay, there's no calories around. It doesn't know that you're in a controlled environment. It doesn't know that you've got a fridge filled with lovely fresh fruits that you can eat any day you want. It's just trying to tell you that you're not taking calories, and what it'll do, it'll go through your subconscious, and your brain is a supercomputer. And this shows you something what happened in my fast. It goes through your subconscious and it looks for calorically abundant foods that you've eaten in your past, even if it's not something you eat anymore. And I began to think about, during my 5-day fast, sweet and sour deep fried chicken balls from a Chinese takeaway that I used to go to. Massive amount of calories in them, super calorically dense, obviously. And something I don't eat anymore. I don't eat animal products anymore. As I was thinking this, I moved it to one side because it was frustrating me to think of this thing, because it's my brain saying, hey, if any of that's around, maybe you can eat some of that now. But this is not a true determination, and your brain is not as clever as it needs to be with the images it brings you, because if I had eaten that, I would have gotten very sick indeed. Without any shadow of a doubt, I would have gotten very sick indeed. My dogs are starting a fight at my feet, sorry. So another thing was that during my wedding, we had a caterer. There was only a few of us there, but this caterer said, I'll make you some vegan burgers for the evening. And we said, great, it's easy. Everyone there, because not everyone was a vegan, will like them. But we didn't know they'd be deep fried as well, so they were super calorically dense. And of course, all fried food is with the amount of fat in it. And it started to bring that image into my head. So your brain pulls up images of calorically dense foods from your past. And even if they're things from long, long ago, it'll look through and go, okay, what about this one? Is any of that around? Is any of that around? And then the other thing it does as well is, while it's detoxing different toxins from your body, you will get, in my experience, you will get image reminders of foods that you're detoxing from. So when you've stored toxic fat sources from a certain food, I have, very much based on a theory and the readings of Dr. Shelton, who fasted more patients than anyone else on the planet, more than 60,000 people, and cured everything from cancer to heart disease, and a man's work I've read extensively, that this is part of also your body telling you, in a way, what it's detoxing. Or not necessarily telling you, it's just remembering, oh, last time I processed and stored that fat is when I ate that, and you get this flash image. On one of my longer fasts, I actually had a few hours where I felt like I'd taken cocaine in my earlier toxic life before I became teetotal. I'm now, zero caffeine, zero alcohol, zero smoking, definitely zero recreational drugs. And I used to take these recreational drugs, and I just had this moment of feeling really high, and I presume the toxicity from that drug I'd stored in my body was getting dumped into my bloodstream, and I was getting psychosomatic symptoms of what used to be like when that toxicity went into me. So that's something to expect, but not something to cave into. You can literally kill yourself breaking a fast incorrectly. Not many people know that, but many persons who left prisoner of war camps in Nazi Germany died after they left the camp, because good people tried to feed these skinny people a meal, and they'd give them meat and veg or whatever they had, and they'd ram it down because they were so hungry, and their digestive systems couldn't cope. They went into refeeding syndrome, and they die. And this can happen. This is a very real danger for people, and that's why I get very frustrated with people saying, oh, you can break it however you want. Breaking your fast is you need to be very careful with it. The ideal situation, I guess, would be to have a professional monitoring you and helping you with these things, but many of the professionals are charlatans out there, so make sure you get the right one. And make sure that you have no underlying health conditions before you begin that might compromise the effectiveness of your fast. Some health conditions are not fastable, and you can read about those in Dr. Shelton's work again. Also, you can read about them in Dr. Filanov's work, who advocates dry fasting. But dry fasting I've done, but I shan't speak about that now. It basically means no food or water for X amount of time, not as long as water fasting, of course. So ensure you don't have anything. Consult a professional. Make sure you don't have any underlying problems. But when you break the fast, if you've done a fast at home for, 5 days plus, 4 days plus, your digestive system has gone to sleep. That's what it's done. Because especially if you've laid in bed. If you haven't laid in bed, it might not have gone to sleep because you haven't gone deep into your cleansing detox mode. This is a mode of the body. This is something the body is pre-programmed to do. This is how God created us. When you start to refeed, it's best to take high water content fruits moderately, or to take fruit juices. Now, I myself, even eating watermelon after 5 days, got a very taxed digestive system, and I got super tired after I ate it and had to go to sleep. Had I eaten the things that were coming into my mind, like fried chicken balls from a Chinese restaurant or a fried burger, I would have been ill. And I know because in my ignorance in the past, I broke my fast with hummus when I didn't study about water fasting. And this is what made me study a lot before I undertook my longer fast, because I fasted I think around about 10 days. And then I broke it with hummus, and it was pretty dry hummus, and I was bad. I was very ill. With a lot of stomach pain for about 48 hours, and I had to commence water fasting again until my body caught up with what was going on. This is basically what will go on during your water fast. You will have these ups and downs. You will have lower back pain where your kidneys are processing toxins. Your body will ache. You'll be tired. This is what will happen. If you move around, you'll feel less tired, but then you're not getting the maximum benefit. You're not cleaning yourself. And water fasting is either medicinal for healing and cleaning, which means you want the highest form of it, or it's for spiritual matters. If it's for spiritual matters, maybe you should be moving around, but it will stress your body a lot more. And breaking the fast is just as important as fasting. It takes a lot of planning and discipline and moderation. You have to be quite stoic in the way that you break your fast. Stoic meaning the Stoicist philosophy of being very temperate and moderate with your food consumption. And you have to ensure that you keep control of that. If you eat a bit of watermelon and you think, oh, I feel good, and then you get a craving for, whatever, some snack from the cupboard, chocolate, and go and eat that, you'll know about it. And if you go ahead and eat a big meal, after anything over 10 days, you can risk death. You have to be careful, and you have to be quite learned. So before you undertake a long fast, I'd say study all of the work of Dr. Shelton. If you type in on Google Soil and Health Shelton water fasting, you can get all his books for free. If you go to curazone.org, to the water fasting forum, and have a look, Dr. Filanov's book is on there, on dry fasting as well. Very good book, because it tells you pretty much similar information to what Shelton's telling you. And if you're wondering what to expect in your fast, it's not going to be a holiday. It's not going to be a walk in the park for everybody. And the more overweight you are, the more unhealthy your diet has been, the worse your detox is going to be. Oh, if you want to minimize your detox, eat a very clean diet for a week or two leading up to your water fast, and you'll feel better. You'll feel far better, far better doing it that way. Because otherwise, the stuff that's in your colon, the intestine, will be disgusting. And I've met people, even when they switch to a very like a pescatarian diet, high vegetable, very small amount of fish, they complain they don't feel good. They have no idea it's because they're just far too toxic, because they've ate nothing but crap all of their lives, and their body's trying desperately to get rid of this toxemia, because it knows this toxemia ultimately is the thing that's going to kill it. So if you eat a very clean diet, even if it's just steamed vegetables, raw is an ideal way to do it, raw fruits and vegetables, predominantly fruits, then this will help to start cleaning your system. Post-fast, you'll be refeeding a while. Expect to be refeeding for, I'd say for every 4 days of fasting, expect to be doing a day or two of refeeding. So if you do a week, expect 2, 3, 4 days, but be careful. If you do 30 days, 40 days, don't think if you take 40 days and 40 nights off work, you'll eat and go back to work. It'll take you about 3 weeks to refeed correctly, and your body will still be detoxing and cleansing if you refeed correctly as well. If you refeed on fruit and juices, your body will stay detox, cleanse, and you'll get the pains wherever it's going to be healing. The pain is healing, the discomfort is healing, the headaches is healing. It's the toxins leaving your body. The white tongue is healing. The smelly breath is healing. You just have to put up with it. Now, one last little thing. I haven't really done a good structure of how I've said this, but if you're interested in water fasting, I'm sure you'll hear me to the end. Enemas. If you get overly toxic and your head's hurting too much and your body's hurting too much, you can use an enema. However, all of my long fasts, I never used enemas, because the most natural thing to do is to let your body do it. And you'll find 2 weeks into a water fast that you'll start going to the toilet, and I mean to excrete feces. Even 2 weeks in of not eating any food, and it can happen regular for a few days. And because the toxins are going into and being utilized by your body, and then they need to come out of your body. But it can take a couple of weeks for that to happen. But if your toxemia is just too intense, there's different schools of thought. You can do it either way. Research, see what you think. For I didn't need them, but I've noticed that if I have, when I've been on shorter fasts, if I felt really a heavy level of toxemia coming on, I do an enema. picks me up. I feel better for the rest of the day. And I guess that's just obviously because enemas get rid of the toxins from your large intestine. So I hope that says a lot about water fasting. And if you're going to embark upon a water fast, make sure, like I say, make sure that you do your research first. So, okay, God bless, guys. Bye.
I cry for the creatures she could have left behind, but everything will change in the blink of an eye. And if you wish to survive, you will find a guide inside. Alright.